Welcome to the Comic Book Cover.
Hello.
Episode 6, Return of the Titans.
Return of the Titans, because they've been here before.
They have. Especially this one, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
A quick note, cover some of the Marvel #1s that are still coming out. You got Illuminati with Josh Williamson. Everybody loves Josh Williamson. Illuminati.
Uh-oh.
Typo. Josh Williamson, best known for stuff like Birthright. He's doing all the what ifs. He did Red Skull with Secret Wars.
Birthrights and what ifs. I mean,
Birthrights and what ifs.
You got to recognize the name from those covers.
Josh's favorite nail biter. So, you should definitely check out Illuminati. I'm going to check it out. It was pretty cool. I've been reading all the build up to Secret Wars. And at that time, the Illuminati was like Doctor Strange and Reed Richards. It's an interesting group of people.
They're doing that a lot here lately, shuffling teams around.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Another cool #1, we got Scarlet Witch. James Robinson's going to be working on it. I wouldn't say James Robinson's my favorite writer, but he's written a lot of stories that I really dig.
And Scarlet Witch is one of those characters that has always had a lot of room to suss out some more stuff.
And we're getting the Vision, too. I don't think I put that on. Oh, yeah, Tom King is doing the Vision. So we get both of those characters. I'm sure it has to do with the Avengers Age of Ultron movie.
Oh, well, could be.
Oh, this one's kind of interesting for wrestling fans. Drax, #1. Cullen Bunn and who?
CM Punk. Yes, you've been hearing about it. They've been talking about it on the internet here for a while now. CM Punk's going to be working on a comic. CM Punk's going to be working on a comic. Here you go.
The best in the world, man. The best in the world.
Now, here's where some of us wrestling fans are going to find it kind of funny that CM Punk is going to be working on a comic. A comic based around a character that was portrayed by Batista.
That part of it's pretty funny. And you want to know another thing that's funny?
Do you think he'll bury Drax with a golden shovel?
Another thing that's really funny is that he co-wrote a story, or actually he wrote a story in the Thor annual recently, and it was all about how Thor liked drinking mead.
Straight edge superstar.
Yeah, that just made, I'm a CM Punk fan, and I just found that amusing.
Well, maybe he decided to sign on with Drax because he thought Drax was working too stiff.
Yeah, maybe he's a little too stiff. Here's another interesting thing: Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the comic, written by Mark Guggenheim, who is the producer of Arrow and Flash.
Yeah, how cool is that?
He did one of the Battle Worlds. I can't remember which one it is offhand, but I think it might even come out this week.
But how cool is that though? Because we've seen what he's been doing with Arrow and the Flash, so we know he's got a knack for it.
Yeah, and now he's going to do the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comic book.
Yeah.
While Jeff Loeb is the producer of that, who's a genius.
Well, hey, maybe they'll call Loeb in to do some work on Flash and Arrow, in the comics.
That would be really cool, because I miss Loeb working in DC stuff.
Hashtag crossover.
And in case you guys are not reading Captain America White, you should be. You should be. As Yoda says. Thor, same team that's been doing Thor. The Mighty Thor is the name of this one. And for those of you who haven't been paying attention on the internet, Jason Aaron just signed another exclusive deal with Marvel. He's going to be taking him from 2016 on. So
Because he can't do no wrong.
He can't do no wrong. Even though he is just solely aligned with Marvel, I don't care, because he's just that good of a writer. But Jason Aaron, on that small, teeny, tiny, not going to happen chance you watch this video, come on, man, do something over at DC. They really need a writer like you. On the other notes of things that are coming out on the DC end, which I think we covered the Poison Ivy comic and Most Wanted Deadshot and Katana, but this is cool. After Green Lantern Lost Army ends, they're going to pick up with Green Lantern Corps Edge of Oblivion with another one of my favorite up-and-coming kind of writers, Tom Taylor. Thank you for bringing Tom Taylor back, DC. Thank you. Ethan Van Sciver is going to be on the art. That is super cool. I cannot wait for that. And then, of course, as that starts up, the We Are Robin story is going to be ending, and Fallout will be in Robin, Son of Batman, and Teen Titans, and so forth. So I think that pretty well covers. Oh, there's also another one they announced. The Legend of Wonder Woman.
They're really, it seems like they're really doing a lot of Wonder Woman build-up leading up to her feature-length film. That's what it feels like to me. They're putting as much Wonder Woman lore out there as possible before the movies hit.
Personally, I'm stoked because Wonder Woman is that DC character that should have had a film already and just hasn't. So to even get her in this situation is great. I can't wait till she has her own movie.
Well, I'm still disappointed that they canceled the series. And well, we both saw the pilot episode, and for everything that it was, boob jokes and all, it was still good and had a lot of potential.
But at the same time, the okay part was that the woman who played Wonder Woman went on to play Mockingbird on S.H.I.E.L.D., so she must be a comic fan. So I guess we'll go ahead and hit our featured comic. This is one I'm super excited about, and we were talking about it at the very beginning. Titans Hunt. This is another Convergence spillover into the DC Universe. Those of you who didn't read the Superman Lois and Clark, you should get that comic. It was great. Because Clark and Lois are in the New 52 universe, but kind of hiding out because they don't want anybody to know, and they have a son. And it was really cool. I don't know how many issues it's going, but Lee Weeks is on art, Dan Jurgens writes. Dan Jurgens from the Doomsday era. He was one of the co-creators of Doomsday, so it's very cool. This, though, Dan Abnett is the writer. This brings back the Titans group that we grew up with, the Marv Wolfman, George Perez group. So they're going to be in our universe, I'm assuming, and they're looking for a missing member.
And this is one of the ripples coming from the end of Convergence, right? Some of the leftover.
And I know a lot of people didn't like Convergence, but it wasn't terrible. It had some cool things in it, especially using the old pre-New 52.
Well, I wasn't following Convergence closely, but I was hearing a lot of good things. A lot of interesting things, a lot of good stories.
My only real complaint, if I were to throw out my complaints of Convergence, my only real complaint with it is making Brainiac cry. That was terrible. I don't know whose idea that was, but whoever did it, that was the worst idea ever. But other than that, a lot of people complain about Warlord being a central character. I like that. I like when you use the B and C and even D characters. And you know what I'm talking about. You're a Blue Devil fan.
I'm also a Warlord fan. So, but yes, I'm a huge Blue Devil fan, and I'm telling you, when I was watching every episode of Justice League Unlimited that I saw, whenever Blue Devil would pop up, whether he's in the background or in the foreground, goosebumps.
Yeah,
goosebumps.
I love Phantom Stranger. I love The Question. Martian Manhunter, which is more of a B character, but we don't see enough of that. Superman and Batman are my favorite characters, and then probably Wonder Woman and Flash. But the thing is, they're not the only characters there.
Well, for a B-roll guy, Warlord, for those that actually did follow him a little bit, he actually is an interesting enough character to bring to the forefront of a story or to help propel a story along.
Yeah,
he really is.
Some of the same people that were complaining said to be there were Warlord fans, and who's going to buy it because Warlord's in this? Well, that's the whole point. Superman and Batman's going to sell the comic, and the people that are buying that to read them can now be introduced to Warlord if they hadn't known who he was.
Exactly.
So, look at this people. Donna Troy's in this comic. Just saying. That's awesome. Batman and Robin Eternal. This is a weekly. Some people don't like the weeklies. This is short because it's going to lead into Robin Wars. Cassandra Cain, the old Batgirl before Stephanie Brown, after Barbara Gordon. She was Black Bat for a little bit in the Batman Inc. series. That's what Grant Morrison made her. She's shown up, and she's going after the person that's kind of chasing down the Robins and killing them. At the same time, she's going after Grayson too, because he works for Spiral. So this is turning out to be a great comic. This is probably one of my favorites that, and that I actually enjoy that it's a weekly because you don't have to wait every month.
For the thirsty reader.
Yeah.
For the
For the thirsty reader that's not only a Batman fan, but a Dick Grayson fan and a fan of Robin in general, you need to be reading Batman and Robin Eternal.
And it's not like they do, weeklies all the time on everything, so.
No, and I mean even the Star Wars Journey to the Force Awakens comic is a weekly.
And pretty, I'd have to say, pretty intriguing storytelling for a weekly too. It's not like you're going to be getting blasted with just mundane stuff, whatever, like good storytelling for a weekly.
We're getting a lot of, like, this week is a really good DC week in my opinion. Next up, we got Justice League 45. I've talked a lot about the Dark Side War. Last issue had a bit of a moment where it's like, a lot of people are saying, oh, Darkseid's dead, but I don't. Darkseid's died plenty of times. I'm not going to get in an uproar. It's not going to end that soon. But the Anti-Monitor is out to kill Darkseid, as well as Darkseid's daughter that he had with an Amazonian woman. Her name's Mirror Black. Everybody's been looking for her. Mr. Miracle's on the team. It's full of Kirby stuff. And you know me. I'm a huge Kirby fan. New Guys is my favorite thing Kirby ever did.
Yeah, and plus, I think, all of us comic fans have learned our lesson over the years, and we know that when it comes to major characters like Darkseid, the death is not really a death, it's a plot device.
Mm-hmm. And that's the point. Some people are always, what's this, nothing's at stake. And, look.
I mean, how many times have the word Superman's dead appeared on the cover of a comic?
Yeah, and way before Doomsday, people. This is not new. They just really played it out well in Doomsday. But the thing is, you don't really want your favorite superheroes to die. This is our pretend world we get to enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't weigh it down with realism.
What I anticipate is when we actually get to the bottom of, is Darkseid dead? Is Darkseid not dead? I think we're going to find out he's not dead, and he's actually bigger and badder than before.
I agree. Very much agree. Martian Manhunter number 5. Man, I'm loving this series. I don't know. It's hard to explain where they're going with this. Basically, he's kind of been separated into different people, and now he's kind of coming together. It's kind of reality bending in a sense, but not Grant Morrison. Not that far. But the origins slightly changed. There's other Martians out there that are coming after him, messing with his head.
There's also a Mr. Biscuits.
Mr. Biscuits is an very interesting part of the story. He's been around before. So, and he seems like a Morrison kind of thing. I had somebody say, I thought Morrison might have come up with that. Like, you would think that Morrison came up with that.
No, someone else came up with it after having drinks with Morrison.
Yeah, maybe. Rob Hunter probably does have drinks with Morrison because he's from that same group of people that came over from the European invasion in comics. Superman, Wonder Woman. This is picking up more in the Justice storyline. Clark's not exactly happy with Wonder Woman or Lois. Lois gave away his identity to the world, and Wonder Woman actually was interrogating Lois, so he kind of feels like everybody's stabbing him in the back right now. I've never seen Superman in this place, and it's so interesting to see where they're taking this character right now.
A morose and troubled Superman.
Yes. And I think this is the biggest thing that's happened to Superman and his stories since the Doomsday thing, really.
Yeah. A good opportunity for a hashtag the Boy Scout is butthurt.
Plenty of hashtags. Hashtag we know comics.
Yes.
Speaking of knowing comics, I know that this Wonder Woman series is the best Wonder Woman series. I mean, we're at 45 now. It's going strong.
The Fates are dead.
The Fates are dead.
Donna's on the run.
Yes, and we don't know who killed the Fates, or do we? I don't know. You should be reading, and then maybe you might have a clue. Let us know what you think.
It's in there.
Donna's on the run because Strife got in her head, and, because she was already feeling bad. Essentially, I mean, she was in a grown woman's body, but she was only like a few weeks old when she actually, did all these things that this other group of Amazons was like, oh, we can't have these men. And those of you who were reading before know what's Hephaestus had taken in all the males that got kicked off the island.
Yeah.
So, and when Diana brought him back, a certain group of Amazons didn't like it. They made Donna out of clay, which in the original she was just kind of like split off from Wonder. It was really kind of silly. This is so much better origin, and Donna gets to be the one that's made of clay. And so her and the other Amazons killed a bunch of the males, which some people have a problem with this because now Donna Troy's done something bad, but I mean, there's always that redemption thing too.
Yeah.
I think this is a very, very cool origin for Donna Troy myself. I'm really into the story and looking forward to seeing, because Diana seems to have a pull on her and seems to be able to get through to her. Because, I mean, they're sisters, they're Amazons, so they're Amazonian sisters, so Diane is the best person to lead Donna in the right direction. I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going.
Oh, as we all should be. Yeah, that's some good stuff there.
Where are we at next, Kevin? What's next?
What's next? Well, it looks like now we're going to be going into the wonderful world of Marvel, beginning with Amazing Spider-Man #2.
I read #1 and I was like not sure if I was gonna like it. I loved it. I've said that it was very Batman Inkish, but man,
Well, I'm still sticking with what I said that first day when I saw the advertisement poster. I was like, okay, what's this? So now Peter Parker has done this Tony Stark Batman Inc. thing, and I say no to the Spider-Mobile.
no to the Spider-Mobile, but I will say yes to this. And since Renew Your Vows, Dan Slott has taken it in this direction, which I missed. Parker acts more like an adult again. And when I was reading in my middle school to high school era, that's how he was. He was married to Mary Jane, and he was grown up a little bit. And I like that aspect.
Yeah.
I like the original thing, but you can't keep him a teenager forever.
Well,
So
well,
I
no.
really like the direction they're going.
You can't keep him as a teenager forever, but I've always felt that Spidey was at his best when he, as far as his normal life, outside of the costume went, he was an underdog, an everyman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now he's not anymore. Now he's Donald Trump with superpowers.
Some of this is Doc Ock's fault as far as him being where he is with this.
Yeah, true. But I mean, it's just, I mean, we'll think about it. The thing that first brought us to the dance with Spider-Man, all the way back at his first appearance, and Stan Lee has said it a million times, and all Spider-Man fans have said it a million times. The thing we love the best about him is we could look at Spider-Man and say, hey, I could be Spider-Man.
You believe it or not, you would like it because he's kind of thrust into that. Yeah. It's interesting because he's trying to run this company, and it was Doc Ock that set it up while he was in his body.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff goes back to Superior. No matter how many
Yeah.
times you see #1, it doesn't mean they got rid of the old continuity.
Yeah,
DC
but
or Marvel.
As I don't know, as big of a jump as it would have to be, I'm just kind of hoping he wakes up one morning, hands the corporation over to Tony Stark, and goes back to being a freelance photographer.
I like that aspect, but this is really good. I mean, if you're a Spider-Man fan, this is definitely worth picking up. I think it's one of the coolest comics they've got out there right now.
I will say, storyline-wise, it's a great jumping on point.
Jumping on. Speaking of jumping on points,
Astonishing Ant-Man.
this is even the hip hop cover.
Yeah, I remember that.
Quick, quick, quick. Are you an Ant-Man fan? 'Cause I was never really an Ant-Man fan.
I was always one of those, you know, didn't dislike Ant-Man but didn't love Ant-Man
He has
guys.
an important place in the Marvel universe. Well, Hank Pym, at least.
I never sought out Ant-Man stories, but I was always delighted whenever he was involved in them.
The Avengers stuff or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
I've
like that. I
really
never picked up his comic.
I've always loved him as being an Avengers team member. That was always my favorites. But
For those who watched the movie and are into what were you saying something about? It was a really good movie.
yes, Ant-Man. Ant-Man. I don't know what happened. I guess.
It was one of those Tom displacement things.
Well, I did notice Brainiac's footprints over next to the books there earlier. Maybe it was him.
Or it could have been God Doom.
It could have been.
Secret Wars readers.
It could have been Darkseid. See, he's really not dead.
He's not dead.
But yes. Speaking of Ant-Man, yes, it turned out to be an excellent movie. And for those who haven't seen the movie, you definitely should, because there's no reason to be worried about this. No matter what Ant-Man you're used to, you're going to get what you need out of this film, because Pym is there. But the way they've done it is, well, I don't really.
It's like it's in the comics now. Pym is there, but Scott is.
Yes, it's actually matching up with what's going on in the pages now. Pym is older.
Yes.
You know, but Scott gets his tech from Pym, so.
Yeah.
But they gave an interesting twist on it that maybe should have been used in the comics, because I love the way he did it. Like Pym comes up with this on his own, and is doing all this stuff on the side, and he's looking for this perfect guy to wear his suit, and he doesn't want anybody to know about it. Wants to keep the tech to himself so the wrong people don't use it for the wrong reason. You know, and
I'm pretty sure all this did come from the comic because Scott was actual in that comic.
yeah, and in the movie,
Yes.
trying to go straight.
A friend of mine read this a lot. He talked about the writer a lot and how much he enjoyed it in Spencer. I just read Sam Wilson, Captain America #1, and as skeptical as I was,
Hashtag not my captain.
hashtag not my captain, I would enjoy it just as much if it was called Falcon. But for those of you who might be paying attention to the solicitations, know that there's going to be a new Falcon. I'm not happy with this, but the comic is good.
Yeah.
It just would be better if they called it Falcon.
Yeah, it is good. It's just that, you know, I mean, I'm with you, you know. It's like when it comes down to it, I would rather Falcon be Falcon.
Yes, you don't need a new Falcon, but whatever, you're going to do what you're going to do anyway.
No, and what is putting on the Captain America suit going to do for him at the end of the day? Nothing. He's already an awesome hero as Falcon.
Exactly. Next up, Darth Vader. This is all, we're building up into a big crossover event called Vader Down. Vader realizes that Luke is his son at this point, so he's trying to track him down. It's pretty interesting, and it crosses over with the Star Wars comic by Jason Can't Do No Wrong Aaron. Trademarked by this guy. I said it first, and you heard it first. All others are stealing it.
Yes.
Ripping me off.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Why would you want to? Invincible Iron Man #2. I read this one. This is another one that I just picked up. The ending. It was one of those like cliffhanger endings, which they always do. But this one was like, if you're reading Secret Wars, which hasn't ended, we talked about this last week, that it's not ending until December, yet our #1s are coming out now in October. The interesting thing about this is like the end of this is like, now how exactly is this going to end now? Because a certain major person from the Secret War story is at the end of it, and you're like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It was a great issue. I know a lot of people don't like Bendis. I'm not really on the haters club or the fan club. I don't, and, you know, he's good. I've written stuff. I read stuff that he wrote and I liked it, and read stuff I didn't like.
Yeah.
But
to
Guardians
me,
was good.
To me, Bendis has always been, you know, you've just got certain writers and you've got certain artists that they're just better at some things than others. And that's how I felt about Bendis. You put him behind certain titles and he does excellent work. You put him behind others.
He is kind of like Marvel's Jeff Johns, but I don't think he's as good as Jeff Johns, in my opinion. Jeff Johns hits him out of the park every time, and Bendis
No,
is
I would call him a solid worker.
He's a solid worker for those of you wrestling fans.
Yes, another wrestling reference there.
The last issue, Kevin.
Oh yes, and this is
Marvel's Weekly.
Yes, this is Marvel's Weekly, and let me just point out, yesterday we were all given a little treat on the internet, as it were, a certain trailer for a certain upcoming film that all of this
is building up to.
I'm telling you, if you have not jumped on this,
you need to.
You need to get your
Jump
back
on
issues.
this.
Jump on it. Get your back issues. Get this
It's only
issue.
4 issues, people. Come on.
We're almost there. You've only got till December.
I'm sure there's going to be another weekly too after this, but this is this particular storyline, and it's being wrapped up. Greg Rucka's the writer. Greg Rucka, he doesn't do wrong either. We just can't call him Greg Can't Do No Wrong Rucka because we've already done that with Jason and Aaron. But I've never read a bad story about a guy.
Rarely does wrong.
Rarely does wrong. And we're still looking for the ones he did wrong.
Yes.
Cyclops wasn't my favorite, so I guess, you know, the Cyclops series he did. But it's not his fault.
But just definitely don't be the only person in the room in December going, "Who is that? How did we get here?" Don't be
Read
that.
that comic. I'll tell you one thing, people. The Emperor may not be dead.
He might not.
If nothing else, he's projecting himself. He already had plans in case he lost. He's trying to blow up Naboo, which is the planet he's from, and Princess Leia's on that planet. Or
Yes.
was. Now she's out in the air with the princess, or the queen, not Amidala, obviously, but the current queen of Naboo. And I forget this character's name because she's brand new, and there's so many characters showing up now, but they're all out there trying to find out Star Destroyers and TIE Fighters, trying to save Naboo. It was a great story going on. This is the last part. Can't wait. Can't wait. We even got to see Han Solo in this one, which is cool.
Yes, yes.
I haven't seen Luke yet, but I'm waiting.
Well, hey, that's okay because
This picks up right after Jedi, too.
Well, they left Luke conspicuously absent from the trailer as well. So that might be a last-minute thing. They gave us Darth Vader's melted helmet.
When I was a kid, and I watched that, of course, everybody was like Han Solo. And I identify with Luke so much because he's the farm boy. It's kind of like my Superman thing. Especially
You're a farm boy.
when we get to Jedi. When we got to Jedi, that was the part where it was like, I don't know, Luke Skywalker's always been one of my favorite characters. The episodes 1 through 3, the thing that was kind of, I was like, there's no Luke. Finally, we get some Luke. So, Mark Hamill, you're the man. I watched Corvette Summer and liked it.
Same here. That was an awesome car.
Yeah, it was.
That was a really awesome
Speaking
car.
of writers who cannot do wrong,
Uh,
Warren Ellis, Karnak. Karnak is an Inhuman, for those of you who don't know, but he's doing a solo series. Warren Ellis is writing. Warren Ellis did Extremis, which is one of the best Iron Man stories ever. Period.
Yes.
Argue with me. Somebody just come and argue with me, because I will stand my ground. And Red, Coley Hammer and Warren Ellis.
yeah.
He did Planetary
That was-
over in DC.
Yeah.
He's
And I'm telling you, I mean, if you're watching
Injection.
and if you're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on TV, and if you're enjoying the Inhumans,
Karnak.
more Inhumans. I mean, this is find
Written by
out about those
one
people.
of the best writers to come from the British thing, next to Grant Morrison. Warren Ellis is going to be doing the new James Bond series too.
That's going to be good
Have you
stuff.
seen that trailer?
That's good.
We don't have time for that, but just can't wait. We're going to do a whole episode on Bond when that comes out.
I'm pushing the emotions down.
Agents of Atlas #1, Tom Taylor, another can't do no wrong guy.
Tom, the Comic Man Taylor.
And Steve Pugh too, man. He did a great job on Animal Man with Jeff Lemire in the beginning of the New 52, which is not a dirty word here.
New 52 is actually pretty good.
New 52. New 52.
There's always going to be
All
hits
new,
and
all
misses.
different Marvel.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah,
It's all the same.
the all new 52, all different Marvel.
Yeah. I think they're like, well, we're going to do 60 some odd new titles.
Yeah.
So we're not doing 52.
Well, they were doing so many they couldn't find a number that rhymed in there. So.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Doody-doo?
Speaking of Inhumans,
Uncanny Inhumans, Charles Soule, which is another one of those up-and-coming guys. It's great. Steve McNiven's doing the art. I read the Zero issue. My friend actually got it signed by Charles Soule for me. Thank you, friend, for doing that. Even though I give you a hard time here and there, it's just all in good fun.
friendship is magic.
Don't get mad at customers as well. Uncanny Inhumans. It's a great series. I'm not as familiar with the Inhumans. I knew Black Bolt. I knew Medusa. The royal family. It's about as far as I knew about it. I never dug into it. I was encouraged to do so, and I've really enjoyed it, especially with Charles Soule writing. I read the whole Rise of Attilan thing in the Battle World series. It was really good.
Yeah, we'll see the Inhumans with me as well. They were kind of like that Hellfire Club kind of group with me. It's like I didn't seek out their stories, and look for more and more stuff. But I always loved it when they popped
Yeah.
up because they
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain groups that when they show up, the story's gonna.
See two guys that don't think belong in there, or not that they don't belong, but previously were never in there.
Hey, it's a human being that's all lit up like a torch.
And
Oh, and
blue furry guy.
yeah, a blue furry guy looking. Oh gosh, he looks like a beast.
He's kind of beastly.
Beast mode.
And of course, Black Bolt and Medusa's in there. This is one of the Marvels I'm looking for, Carnage. And the last issue of Weird World by Jason Can't Do No Wrong Man. You heard it here first, kid.
Even when he covers the guy on the front of the book with neon paintball splatters, he can't do no wrong.
I recently started reading The Scout, which is really good. Southern Bastards is also one that comes out. That's a great series. They're going to be doing TV.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. We've got a lot of those. A lot of independent comics are being looked at to possibly be picked up for a series and this and that anymore, because people are finally starting to realize how much good stuff has actually been just sitting there in the independent area, and by default, because it's independent, you don't always know about it. It's not the cool, popular thing. And speaking of those independents,
Yes, and cool and popular. Are you a Back to the Future fan, sir?
well, I could never honestly say I wasn't.
You know what's interesting about New Comic Wednesday this week? It happens to be the day that Marty McFly went into the future.
That's right.
You know what's cool about this particular New Comic Wednesday?
And what would that be?
Back to the Future #1 comic
Oh look!
by IDW.
Oh look! And it's pretty fly for a McFly guy.
McFly.
So I mean, so this week you can get your I always forget the numbers. 1.21 gigawatts of comic book entertainment.
Yes, and it will be on the day that McFly went in the future. Of course, as we look around, we don't have hoverboards.
No, my shoes aren't lacing themselves.
But a lot of people have been making a deal about the fact that it looks like the Cubs might go to the World Series. So that's pretty. It would be funny if certain things did play out like it did. Because I love that series. That was a great series, 1, 2, and 3. And I think it's really cool that they're doing comedy. Freaking DeLorean's back.
Oh man, I'm telling you, Michael J. Fox, the accidental king of camp.
And Doc Brown played by one of our favorites, Christopher Lloyd, man.
and I mean, let's pull this back up again. I mean, look at that. We got Doc Brown. We got Marty McFly.
McFly.
And oh, who's that? Who's that right there in the middle?
Biff.
Biff.
This is almost bittersweet because this particular, we're moving on to Image now. That was IDW.
Yes.
Number 10 of the Fade Out. We only have 2 more issues.
Ed Brubaker.
He's another Can't Do No Wrong kind of guy. God. He's like this generation's Frank Miller in my opinion. And if you're reading this, you can tell why. It's definitely not Sin City because it's not over the top. It's actually very realistic and noir.
Yeah.
Very noir.
That noir thing.
Old Hollywood, you know, somebody got murdered in old Hollywood, who did it. One of these, the writer that found her is trying to figure out, as well as trying not to make it look like he did it, because he's the one that found her.
It was like your old pulp detective mystery
Yeah,
there.
because all the movie producers back in the day were tied to the mafia. It's so good. Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker have done so many series, Fatale being one, Scene of the Crime.
Oh yeah.
Brubaker's done a lot of great stuff. Captain America Winter Soldier, which they based a movie on, though, so it must have been pretty damn good. Can't do any wrong.
And this stuff, this kind of stuff here, I mean, it would be good for somebody that maybe likes reading detective novels but wondered what it would be like if they had pictures.
This is the great thing for people that are like, I would like to read comics, but I'm not really into the superhero thing.
You know, I
Stuff
prefer
like
actual
that.
novels. Well,
Yeah, it's more like a novel. Tokyo Ghost by Rick Remender was our pick of the month.
we've heard
last
this
time.
title mentioned a few times.
It's very good. I read it. I liked it. Sean Murphy, he did Punk Rock Jesus. He did a series, The Wake. Scott Snyder. He's done a lot of really good stuff. But you know, he's also when Greg Capullo takes his break for Batman on issue 51. this guy, Sean Murphy, is going to be coming and doing some Batman art.
I'm excited to see what he does with it.
Me too. So I think it's pretty well wrapped. Oh wait.
Oh, we've got a Godzilla in Hell #4.
Yeah, Godzilla in Hell. I heard there's not a lot of dialogue in this one, but it's Godzilla in Hell. It's got to be interesting.
And Star Trek 50.
Yes. Those of you who are Star Trek fans, you got to mention Star Trek before mentioning Star Wars.
Yeah, and
I may lean
don't feel
towards Star
slighted.
Wars, but I like Star Trek, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
And don't feel slighted about the lack of Star Trek right now and the focus on Star Wars, because here coming up pretty soon, we will have a very good reason to start focusing on Star Trek a bit more. For those of you who follow Twitter and other social media, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Resistance is futile.
So we were just talking about Star Trek and Twitter.
Yes. For those who have been following,
We'll be talking more about Star Trek. I'm just going to say this. For those of you who might have walked into BME and like, there's no Star Trek comics, please ask for them, because I would like for them to be on the shelf. But people have to want them in order for us to have them on the shelf.
yeah, well, it's a supply and demand
Yeah.
thing. It's a supply and demand. If you
I actually
let
feel
us know,
bad that we don't have any Star Trek comics on
well,
the shelf.
I can't really say us, but if you let these fine fellows know, hey, I like Star Trek. I want more Star Trek. If Star Trek was on the shelf, I would buy it. Let them know, and you'll start seeing it on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm talking about it.
Resistance is futile.